into Dog Dynasty bubble hockey. Man, it feels good to say this. Bulldog hockey is back. It looks a little different, of course, but we still made it. 9 months ago, a virus that we have all come to learn and know very well put a stop to what was a very likely run at another three-peat for this men's hockey team. So I am joined by the TV voice of the Bulldogs, Schneider, as well as our color commentator, former Bulldog forward Judd. Guys, I know you have to be as happy or happier than I am to be standing here talking about Bulldog hockey.
Yeah, I mean, it was just exciting to come here and talk to you guys today about this and have something over the weekend to watch and talk with your friends about and talk with you guys about and the kids about, and everybody's excited about something locally again. So I'm just excited about that for sure.
I echo that.
Yeah, the only thing better than the feeling right now for us, selfishly, is going to be when we're back at Amsoil Arena and actually calling the games. But being able to watch them from afar in the Omapod has been pretty fun so far.
Yeah, just thinking about when we get back into Amsoil and get to watch it in person, it's going to feel like a dream, honestly. Well, why don't we start here? The question on everyone's mind coming into this season was, first of all, when are we going to get hockey back? But also, who's going to take that place that Hunter Shepard left between the pipes? And head coach Scott Sandlin was very adamant about he's not naming an opening day starter until opening day, and it was Ryan Fanti. So let's talk about Fanti. What have you thought about his play through these few games?
Well, as of the first weekend, he's undefeated, so I think that's a pretty good start, regardless of how he's played. And we can break his game down and this goal and that goal all we want. But the bottom line is, he's played extremely well for a guy coming in playing his first starts as a Bulldog, and his team has found a way to win in front of him. He's been fantastic. Maybe I'm going to get a little picky here, just because that's my job and that's Zach's job.
We would encourage yes.
And he hasn't played perfect, but I don't think they need him to play perfect. When you get the goal support that he's had so far, and timely goals, maybe more than anything, he's been a pleasant surprise, I think. So.
He displays, I mean, obviously it's very early in the season, but Sandlin said he displayed that calmness, that you need.
Well, and not just the calmness, but the compete level, which is what made Hunter Shepard so much of what he was here at UMD, and he was able to battle through a lot of things. And you saw in the third game, I think Ryan Fanti maybe played his worst of the first 3 games in the pod, but he battled through it and was able to help the team get that win over Miami, and that's a big thing. But the biggest thing for me is going into this was, and I think we still might see Ben Pat and or Zach Staiskal in the pod, just because of the way that this is scheduled. They play some back-to-backs, they play at weird times. So we still might see one or both of the other two. But so far, Ryan Fanti has not given Scott Sandlin, performance-wise, a reason to take him out of the goal. And that's what Hunter Shepard did 3 years ago, and it led to 115 straight starts, back-to-back national championships, and a complete rewrite of the UMD record book. That's a lot to put on Ryan Fanti's shoulders 3 games in, but he's off to a good start.
Well, and with 3 years left to go in a UMD uniform, I mean, an NAHL goalie as well, he's going to be asked about that time and time again, maybe, are you the next Hunter Shepard? But that's way down the road that we will talk about. Switching gears a little bit, this is categorically a younger team for UMD this year. It's the young guys that have certainly stepped up. Obviously, we're going to talk about those vets as well, but these new guys, I don't want to, name any names yet, but Wyatt Kaiser, and then you have Fanti. I mean, who has impressed you the most through the duration of the pod thus far?
Well, other than Fanti, I think it would have to be Wyatt Kaiser. And he came in with a lot of expectations to replace maybe somebody else in the blue line, Scott Perunovich, the Hobie Baker winner. Not to say, again, that Wyatt Kaiser is going to be Scott Perunovich, certainly not now, but so far he's been, I think, the most impressive freshman. Matt Cairns has been really good as far as newcomers, as far as replacing some size and some energy on the blue line as well.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I mean, Wyatt Kaiser has been, he doesn't look like a freshman. He's just one of those guys that comes along, that steps into a lineup, and just, this is a kid out of high school who comes in and just looks like a veteran out there. And I've been extremely impressed with how he's looked and his poise and his strength, and he looks great. And fortunately, they need him to play like that because they've lost so much on the back end. Obviously, over the past couple years, last year, especially with Perunovich and Wolf and all these guys moving on to the next level, they needed guys to get those more minutes and step up and play that, and Kaiser certainly looks like he is going to be able to do that. It's going to be hard for him to do it all year long. It's a new season for him playing college hockey against men out of the high school league, but ultimately he's going to be a stud, and I think everyone's really excited about him.
There are a couple of these returners that have definitely made a huge impact. Who has impressed you returning so far through the pod? Judd, I'll start with you.
Well, I think the reason UMD has had the victories they've had this year is because they're returning forwards. Look at the timely goals they've had. Obviously, the Cates have been a huge impact. The high expectations for Cole Koepke, he finally got on the board, his first goal, but he still played fantastic. Swaney's been unbelievable. And how about Kobe Roth? I mean, just been a total, I mean, we've saw flashes of what he can do over the past couple seasons, but he's elevated his game to that next level, and it's just been so fun to watch him just take, he's such a smart hockey player, and now he's finally getting rewarded. He's getting the ice time. He's capitalizing on his chances with big goals, obviously, we saw this weekend. So that's been the fun part, to see those upperclassmen, the Swaneys, and those guys elevate their game to the next level and help the freshman goalie out, help the defensemen who maybe haven't seen a lot of minutes in the NCHC. So that's why this team is having success.
The way Scott Sandlin talks about these guys, and the way when he's asked about, man, what do you think of Wyatt Kaiser and the way he's played, and these new guys in Fanti and goal, Sandlin talks about this as like a very matter of fact, like, yeah, this is what's expected of them. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's why this program has been so successful?
100%. I mean, that's his expectation. You know, he looks at the weekend that they've had. They're 3-0, fantastic, but he looks at where they need to get better, because he knows the mountain's going to only get steeper and the climb's going to be more challenging as the schedule goes on, and they play North Dakota obviously coming up, and that's Scott Sandlin. You guys talk to him all the time in the media, and it's just the way he is, and he sets the bar high, and it's amazing what this program has accomplished under his guidance.
Yeah, Scott Sandlin always says you were recruited here for a reason. You know, we brought you here for a reason, and this is that reason. So some of these vets, I mean, Judd touched on a lot of them. Kobe Roth, Nick Swaney, I think, has been really impressive, even though he hasn't scored through 3 games. He's got 5 assists. He's playing really, really well. But again, you know, you look at the game-winning goals, and it's all upperclassmen through 3 games. You know, in the third period, last 5 minutes, those are the guys on the ice, along with Wyatt Kaiser. But, you know, those are the guys that are expected to bring the younger guys along and pull on that chain early in the year, because it not only is playing college hockey a lot to ask of a true freshman or any freshman at this level, but if you're asked to go out and win the game in the last 5 minutes against a North Dakota, against a Denver, you know, you're probably gonna fall on some hard times. And so to have Cole Koepke score a big goal late in the third period, to have Kobe Roth, you know, make that penalty kill block shot and go score an empty netter, those are the things that really separate UMD. They have over the last 3 or 4 years, and so far they've continued to do that, and that's just the culture that Scott Sandlin has built in that locker room.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for joining me. You can catch us on My 9. Head to CBS3Duluth.com and click on the Sports tab for an up-to-date schedule. UMD plays a total of 9 games in Omaha. Of course, that is subject to change, as always, as is everything in 2020. And then they return home. Home sweet Amsoil Arena, that is. The regular season is slated to begin following the pod in the team's respective home arenas on January 1st.